It's been a wake up call for me as well, because I didn't realise it was that bad in Scotland. As I say, I knew that they were planning on implementing an anti-racist education. That was all they said. It was very vague, but to find out that it's critical race theory, because there's that woman I was talking about, her group, she had an old website called the Anti-Racist Educator, and I remember years ago coming across that. Was one of the first websites that I came across in that sphere of anti-racism and whatnot, and it's absolutely grotesque. Like all the glossary is just full of absolute bile, anti-white bile. And I remember making a video on it at the time, and I wasn't very clued up or knowledgeable on anti-racism and critical race theory and stuff back then. So I just, by and large, my sort of conclusion to the video was that these people are trying their damnedest to worm their way into Scottish education. Mark my words, they'll get there eventually. Lo and behold, you fast forward a few years, and that same woman that created that website is now working with the Scottish government to implement critical race theory, and that's what irritates me by and large about Scotland. And I know Wales has kind of got the same problem. It was like a competition between Scotland and Wales, and most people, the ones that actually participate in voting in Wales, they just can't see past Labour. It's the same thing in Scotland with the SNP. All they see is Nicola Thinlips driving about in her Stop Brexit bus or her independence bus, and she promises them the world, she promises them independence, but then they vote for that, but they don't realise what's coming in the background. And critical race theory, I'd love to have this conversation with people that are avid independent supporters. Are you happy with critical race theory coming your way, like, you know, or is it just all about independence? I don't know, because it's got to be one of a few things. It's either they've read the manifesto, they've read all these materials and they're absolutely fine with it, or it's they don't agree with any of that, but independence is more important, so they'll deal with all the rest of it after the fact. I'm sorry, I don't agree with either of that. Like, come on, nobody should be giving the SNP any leeway. There should be nobody supporting them. I don't care about how passionate you are about independence. By and large, the stuff that they're implementing in the background is absolutely vile. Yeah. And I mean, there's just no place for it. And it's not just like the LGBT, which is absolutely bad. Some of the resources are absolutely vile. I made a video last week on that, actually. Sorry, I'm rambling a wee bit now.
Yeah, go for it.
There was resources that I covered last week where they were geared towards kids with like major learning difficulties. We're talking like Down syndromes, etc., like sex education resources. They were absolutely vile, like absolutely vile. And this is just like there on these websites openly for teachers to take it upon themselves to then in turn teach it to these kids. That's vile. One of the websites was I can't remember the exact wording, but it was essentially saying like, as long as you're being safe, have fun type of thing. And it was geared towards 14 and above, and it was talking about like sex toys and stuff on the website for 14 and above, for kids with like Down syndrome and all that stuff. Nah, I'm sorry, nah. But then you've got global citizenship education, which that in and of itself, I mean, I won't go into that because I'll be here all day, but that's vile. That's normalising immigration. One of the resources that I went through, which was promoted by the Scottish Government, one of the top key points that they emphasise is that we have to move away from the normalisation of a quote-unquote white majority in favour of promoting diversity. So you read between the lines, and what that means is we need to stop normalising the idea that Scotland's white. You know, this is what they do to kids. So you've got that, then you've got learning for sustainability, which ties into the Agenda 21 stuff I was talking about, which in and of itself is horrible, some of the stuff in there. They're essentially promoting like socialist talking points to little kids alongside absolutely malevolent, perverted in some instances, topics at very young ages. And it all gets a pass because, independence. Nah, I'm sorry. Nah, I used to support independence. I would never support the SNP, like, but there was a referendum tomorrow. They can ram it. They can absolutely ram it.
Right. Yeah, no. That's fine.
It gets me riled up, like, because it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
And I just don't get it. I just don't get where it comes from. And I just don't know what's going on in Nicola Sturgeon's brain. I just don't get it. It's just mentally ill. It's the behaviour of, you've got mentally ill people in charge of a country. I don't know, call me simplistic, but I just don't understand it. How you can just be so malevolent and so evil and behave in such a disgusting way towards children and have just utter contempt for these kids. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know who the hell she thinks she is for doing this. It's extremely destructive, and I was thinking about this the other day. I don't think I can't imagine any worse way Scotland can be governed these days. I can't imagine it being any worse, because if people are being round up and shot for certain for certain things, at least you would know what the most. At least you would know that exactly what they wanted to do. At least things were going to be clear. But it's this idea that everything is done in a kind of positive way, or it's a good thing. It's being done to help people. People are being convinced that this is the way forward. It's progressive. It's 2022. It's what we do now, and it's just absolutely horrendous. It's just horrific. What just the way they go about things.